Joe Hopkins here, and okay, you want a guitar. What do you buy? What are you looking for, and how do you get a good one? How do you make sure you get the guitar you want? And one of the most surefire ways to make sure you're getting what you want is to go to a store that sells guitars. Pick them up, play them, try them out. But there are fewer and fewer guitar stores out there these days, and a lot of the really decent, affordable brands aren't carried in stores, unfortunately. And I say that because after having tried a lot of different inexpensive guitars, I've found that a lot of the ones, the bigger names of inexpensive guitars, aren't as good as some of the ones that they sell online for the price range. You know what I mean? And just so you know, a lot of this goes for the name brand stuff too, the expensive guitars. Just because it's an expensive guitar doesn't mean it's good. And it doesn't mean that it's really going to fit you, right? So you need to find a decent guitar that works for you, that maybe doesn't cost a lot of money. But what are you looking for? There's the big question. The first thing you need to decide is what kind of guitarist are you and what kind of guitar you're looking for. In essence, you have two types of guitars. You have acoustic and you have electric. So with acoustic guitars, it's the wood and, the reverberation in it that make the sound. To what type of wood and how the guitar is built, the size of the guitar, all that kind of stuff can make a very big difference with how much volume you get. If you want, or what kind of tone you have, right? So if you want something with a brighter sound, get something with a spruce top. The sides and back, if you get something with nice sides and back, like, I don't know, maple or whatever, right? That's great and all. But it's that spruce top that really gives it its punchy sound. You want something with a darker sound? Get something with a mahogany top or an all mahogany guitar. A lot of the budget companies make all mahogany guitars, and they sound pretty good. They have a slightly darker tone than the ones with the spruce tops. That's what I've found in my experience. So once you decide tone, volume. What kind of volume do you want? Mostly it's size of the guitar. Bigger guitars have more volume. Usually. It isn't always the case. But what I've found is my jumbo guitars, and I have a couple of them, make more volume than my dreadnoughts, which make more volume than some of the smaller models. The smaller the guitar, the less volume. The bigger the guitar, the more volume. And more isn't always better. Keep in mind, if you want to sit there, play your guitar and sing at the campfire, you might want something that doesn't drown you out. Maybe a smaller size guitar would be a better pick. You get a jumbo and you better have some volume to your voice, because those things are loud. Right? The next question would be, do you want 6 strings or 12? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Or maybe you want a classical guitar. Classical guitars are nice. I have 2 of them. I love them. They're great guitars. Or do you want an electric guitar? Which also, you start asking questions, what kind of pickups do you want? The pickups are the things that make the sound, that have a lot to do with the tone on the guitar side. I do have to say, you can probably change your tone more with your amp and speakers than you can with pickups, especially the speaker cabinet. People wouldn't think this, but the speakers, I've seen a lot of people do side-by-side tests with things. The speaker cabs, what kind of speakers you have, seem to make more difference with your electric guitar sound than almost anything else, right? As far as what kind of tone you're getting. But you these days don't really need an amp even. You can use amp sims and that kind of thing, or you can get a small modeling amp or that kind of thing. But what kind of guitar are you going to get? Yeah, if you get an electric guitar, you need something to plug it into. But on the guitar side, what are you getting? Well, what kind of music do you play? What kind of player are you? Are you rhythm? Are you, totally just chording it, Or are you shredding? Yeah, or what are you doing? Right? If you play a lot, all the way up on the neck, right? I don't. I love Les Paul style guitars, but I don't really play a lot up here. You might want a dual cutaway, something like an SG or a Strat type guitar if you play way up here a lot, because it's just easier to get to. What kind of access do you need up here? I found those V-shaped guitars are really good for having access up here. And some like this is just a nice chunky neck joint here, but some of them have these like rounded out and cut away in the back so that you can really get your thumb around it and get up here better. Something like that might be more to your taste. If you're into a lot of whammy bar stuff, you might want a floating tremolo with a locking nut. I've got a couple of those guitars. They're great. They're a pain in the ass to tune and to deal with and to change strings. It's added work, but if you want to do those, dive bombs and stuff like that, you need it. It's a need for some people, but not for everybody. Do the looks come into it? Do you really want a guitar that looks a certain way? Pickups can be important, right? You want humbuckers? Do you want single coils? Do you want something with split coils where you can kind of have both? Do you want I got that Firefly Strat type guitar. It's got humbucker single, and if you get something like that where the humbucker you can split, it's got a coil split and it can be a single, then you've got everything, right? Kind of, sort of, but everything is kind of a compromise. Now, there are a lot of really good budget guitars out there, so once you decide what you want, you need to decide what brand you're going to go with, and I'd say shop around a bit. Watch reviews on different guitars. That's what I do. I don't just make reviews. I watch them. I watch a lot of them. I want to know what I'm looking to buy before I buy it, and try to watch a lot of different reviews on the same guitars. Some people aren't terribly honest in their reviews, right? The company sends them stuff and they give favorable reviews. Some people are a little more critical. I won't go into naming people and saying who's good and who's bad. Go out there and look around, man. I could be wrong. So anyway, I can think of a couple that I think are pretty honest, but they tend not to do the real budget stuff. They tend to look at more expensive guitars. As far as budget brands go, I can give you a few recommendations. My favorite, hands down, just across the board in general, is Harley Benton. And it's mostly because everything they make is solidly anywhere from decent to incredibly good at very reasonable prices. And that's for electrics and acoustics. They're very good. They're reasonably priced. You really can't go wrong. You're unlikely to get a real loser from them. But there are other brands. Firefly, I've found, can be give and take. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're so-so. But when they're good, they are really, really good. I do like their guitars in general. This one's a Sawtooth, right? That would be godpsmusic.com. I really like Sawtooth guitars. They tend to cost a little bit more than what you get from Harley Benton or from Firefly, but they are better guitars. And sometimes you can get them down to the same price as everywhere else. They have coupons. You can get 30% off. It's either 20 or 30% off. I forget which, but pretty much any time. Sign up for their emails. Right? They send you coupons, and they have 50% off sales. And when they have a 50% off sale, you grab one. They're really good guitars. I own a couple of them. I haven't got anything that's really mediocre. They've all been excellent. Let's see, some other brands. If you go to guitarfetish.com, they have a couple different brands, and they're all pretty damn good. Xavier, I love my Xavier acoustic. They seem to have be phasing them out for their new brand, which the name of it slips my mind right now, but I did buy one for a friend and tried it out, and it's excellent. The Xavier electrics are very good. The slick guitars I love. Of their three electric guitar brands, you have Xavier, Slick, and SBS. I'd say my favorite of the three is Slick, but SBS has the guitars with the locking tremolos and the real shred stuff. So if that's your thing, you might want to go with that. But overall, I like the Slicks quite a lot. I really do like them. Nothing wrong with the other two brands. But there are a lot of other brands out there. It's hard to even, shop all of them. Get on Amazon and look up some of their cheaper guitars. They got, I got an IYV hanging up here that I bought from Amazon. IYV is a great brand. Best to order from Amazon. It's either Amazon or you have to go to their store, and their store, the shipping is a bit exorbitant because it's from Vietnam. But the prices are a lot less. So it comes out roughly the same as you get from Amazon, but it's going to take a while to get to you. I just save the pain in the ass and go to Amazon if you're getting an IYV. Or you could go to allinoneguitars.com. They sell Wolf and AIO. Those are excellent guitars. You're going to pay a bit more. They're like $550, $600 a piece. But for what you're getting, it's a real deal. But there you go. Just some basic ideas. But yeah, if looks really matter, and they do for a lot of us, on a guitar, I'd say shop around and see who has the look you want. In that regard, if you want something flamboyant and a bit over the top, right? I got this from Sawtooth, but most of the really over-the-top stuff I've seen is with Firefly. They have some really flamboyant colors. Hard Luck Kings is no more. They're gone, but they had some really flamboyant stuff. I think you can see that green thing right there, like that lime neon green. They had all kinds of cool colors and stuff, color combinations, but they're not around anymore. Some of these other brands do have some really neat stuff though. Harley Benton tends to be a bit more traditional, and Sawtooth, it's give and take. If they got it in stock, they got some really cool colors. If they don't, they don't. Firefly's your best bet for something really out there. You know what I mean? But yeah, those are some of my thoughts on the whole thing. I do have to say, what kind of weight are you looking for too? If you're sitting down and playing, doesn't matter so much. But if you're playing standing up, it matters. If you get one of these big hunkin' full-size Les Paul style guitars, it is going to get heavy after a while. After half an hour of standing up on stage with one of these bricks, you notice it. You really do. And I know a lot of musicians love Les Pauls. They do get heavy. A Strat style guitar is going to be lighter. I have one of those dual humbucker Strat style guitars from Sawtooth. It's really light. It's one of the lightest guitars I have. Those things are great. And a lot of companies have rather light SGs. That yellow, there it is, that yellow one behind me there. That's a Harley Benton kit guitar that I put together. It is really light. It kind of gets neck dive though, because the headstock is so much heavier than the guitar. That's another thing you have to consider. Let's see, guitars that are lighter would be pretty much any super Strat style or Strat style guitar is going to be lighter than a Les Paul. These things are bricks. I got that black all the way on the end. That's a Harley Benton Les Paul style guitar, but that's their SC Custom series, which are lighter. It's thinner. It has those little cutaways on the back for ergonomics and stuff. That's a lighter guitar. If you want a Les Paul style guitar, that isn't as heavy, but I think it only comes in black with gold hardware. So there you go. You got to weigh all these things. Everything's a compromise. And as far as sound goes, any guitar can sound good. Even cheap ones, even crappy pickups can have a particular tone to them. But if you want something that sounds solidly good, every Harley Benton I've gotten sounds good, electric or acoustic. They all sound great. Same thing with Sawtooth. My Sawtooth guitars sound amazing. And if you want to foot a little bit of extra money, you can get premium pickups. I think they're EMGs. I could be wrong. In your Sawtooths, and same thing with the acoustics. They have like Fisher preamps in them. So yeah, you can get stuff with decent pickups and whatnot in them. Guitarfetish.com. I do have to say, I love their pickups. Love their pickups. They make them themselves, GFS, and they have a quick plug design. So if you want to buy other GFS quick plug pickups, you can change them out really easy. No soldering, and that's nice. Because let's say you buy an Xavier guitar and you want to put hotter pickups in it, as long as you get the GFS quick plugs, it's just unplug the one, plug in the new ones, put them back in. There you go. That makes it really easy to switch them out and try different things. One of the things I really like about Guitar Fetish, also they sell all kinds of parts that fit their guitars, right? Now you do have to keep in mind, if you're putting one together from scratch, they have 2 different brands of bodies, 2 different brands of necks. They're not interchangeable from what I hear, so make sure you get the right neck for the body. But in general, all of their parts, they sell parts that fit their guitars, which is really nice. And they're good parts. They really are. They make good stuff. They make great pickups. So if you want to be able to easily change your sound, that's a good way to go, right? Yeah, let me think. What else? All of the guitars I've gotten all have pretty good necks. They all have pretty decent frets. If you want something better than what you can get from, right out of the box, you kind of have to learn a little bit of how to level frets and do some luthier work and stuff like that. Basic setup stuff. It's not hard. A lot of people on YouTube here have videos on it. You can make any guitar better. But keep in mind, any guitar sounds good. Just because it's expensive doesn't make it sound better than something that's cheaper. And how good something is a relative thing. That's up to you. A lot of people really have liked cheap guitars with crappy pickups because they just liked a particular sound that they got from that guitar, right? Keith Richards has done that. Cheap guitars sometimes for recording just because he liked the way they sound. Jack White's notorious for it. In fact, Jack White's notorious for getting guitars that make him work to have to play them, like really bad guitars. Kurt Cobain did the same thing. He'd buy stuff that just was total junk because he liked the way it sounds for particular things. So you don't have to spend a lot of money, and expensive doesn't make it good or necessarily good to you. You might find that cheap guitar that you love. You love the way this particular guitar sounds. You got to kind of shop around to find it though. That's where watching reviews and stuff come in. So those are my thoughts on that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I love y'all. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.